What is up, YouTube? Welcome back. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, and if you are, you can make my day a little bit better by going down and smashing that like button, because it truly does help a small channel like mine out. Basically, what this video is today is we're going to be breaking down a company, a new growth company that I have found, whether or not I'm going to invest in it, and the risk and reward in investing in a company like this. I probably took about a week off where I went and I rebalanced my portfolio because I was doing a lot of stuff that it wasn't me. I was doing a lot of stuff to be safe and make safe picks, because the last thing I really wanted to do is put anybody else's money at risk. So I tried to kind of switch up my investing style. At the end of the day, it just wasn't exciting for me and I was losing interest in it, and I had to go back through and redo everything. So I went through and rebalanced my portfolio, got rid of a lot of companies like Boeing, Disney, a lot of the safer companies, because that's just really not my investing style. I'm really heavily an investor when it comes to investing. I'm a real heavy growth investor. So with that being said, a lot of my stuff is going to be super risky, and I would recommend doing your own research. With that being said, I have done an extensive research and deep dive into the sector, into the business, and I do feel confident in my conclusion. And if you're into this kind of stuff, make sure you go down, smash that subscribe button, because it truly does help out the channel, and I do put a lot of work into these videos. So with that being said, let's get into the video. The company's name is Evolus Inc. Ticker symbol is EOLS. This company is in the cosmetic Botox space. It's FDA approved for cosmetic use. It's basically the same formula as Botox, and the CEO used to work for the company that initially produced Botox. The good thing about this is the only real direct competitor to Botox. There's other people in this space, but they don't have the same formula as Botox. And I think the real key to this company, vice investing in other companies, is the potential for growth. The fact that they're solely looking at the cosmetic space when it comes to Botox. With that being said, let's get into the pros and cons. The first pro is the branding. They have started their marketing campaign with this new tox hashtag, and with the millennial generation getting older in the next 5 to 10 years, there's a lot of growth potential in this Botox space. A lot of them want to look good for Instagram, TikTok, all these other platforms, YouTube, where they're putting their bodies out into the public on a more regular basis than any other older generation. Another pro is that it's cheaper than Botox by about $100, which makes it more cosmetic friendly because you're getting the same treatment, but this just doesn't have the same FDA approval for all the other medical uses that Botox can be used for, but it's essentially the same product. They are launching their loyalty program. I'm obviously not big into Botox or this cosmetic space, but that seems to be a driver or a reason why people stick to Botox versus going to other brands. And if they can launch a very similar loyalty program or a better loyalty program, we could see a real rampant change from Botox to their new tox equivalent. The next pro is something that I've kind of grown to look for in companies, especially with growth, is what does the production line or the facility look like? And the thing with Evolus here is that the production line is state of the art. So you're going to get a better margin because you're going to have less waste. You're going to have a better and more streamlined production line that only produces new tox in this certain way, and it doesn't have to worry about all the other applications of Botox. It only has to worry about the cosmetic branding and the cosmetic packaging. The next thing that you want to look at when you're looking at a growth sector or something that you believe is a growth stock is the addressable market. To me, this is another pro. It's projected, but the total addressable market is going to be around $7.3 billion by 2025. The other thing to note about this is they are not trying to overtake Botox. They're really not. They're just trying to become the second player in the space. Currently, that is held by another company with a different product altogether. That company holds about a 21% market share. So I'm making all of my predictions on Evolus actually obtaining that goal and getting to a 25% market share, where I believe they actually have the possibility of getting even bigger than that, just because when it comes to the differences between the two products and what I've seen from doctors is they're almost identical. They last the same amount of time. This Nutox formula actually kicks in 2 to 3 days earlier for people that are into Botox. That makes it a more attractive product. So based on everything that's happened in the world, they've had to reduce guidance, and I think they went with a super conservative guidance in that this sector is probably going to be one of the sectors that maintains itself fairly well, because people are still going to want to do their treatments, and it's not like portion of the market where people are losing their jobs are the people that are the ones that get Botox on a regular basis anyways. And I know some people in that aspect is, so I'm not expecting it to completely return, but I do believe that the people that do get Botox are in the upper, middle class to higher class social economic levels. You're not going to be broke and getting Botox. I mean, there might be a couple people out there that do that, but I feel like the majority of people that get Botox are in at least the middle class. I do see a potential for a beat in the most upcoming guidance. Other thing to point out that I thought was a pretty good positive is the gross margin profit on this product. It's at 70% when everything is operating the way it should be. Now, after we've done the pros, I'm going to go and touch on the cons. There's not as many, but there are still cons that you need to be aware of when you are investing in a company like this. So AbbVie, the company that creates Botox or owns Botox, the actual company, is filed for tariff protection. To me, this is almost kind of a pro, and I'll get to why, because I don't believe that their tariff protection is going to work. One, because both companies work with a Korean company to produce their product. I believe that this is AbbVie's way of recognizing that they are actually a real threat by trying to bring litigation into the battle against them. Another con is the market cap is only 110 million. So they don't have as much money to play with as all these other big players in the space. So if COVID-19 were to last longer than expected or take a long time, they don't have as much money to combat or stay afloat as long. And then the other big negative is they currently have negative cash flow. But I do believe if they are able to ramp up, this is kind of like the worst timing for this company, is they had just started ramping up at the end of last year, and they just started promoting and getting on track to start producing at a high level. And they were starting to have a great growth rate. But I do believe if they're able to get through this COVID era or this COVID time period, that we could potentially see a really good year over year and quarter over quarter growth rate going forward. Couple of my opinions on the stock as a whole, from just listening to the CEO talk and knowing how much knowledge he has on the space, I feel like he can raise capital as necessary, because there is such a big window that is available. And then my other opinion on the stock is that because they are building up a brand, that they could potentially go into other cosmetics. And that's kind of where I see this company going ultimately, is they're going to use that branding power to do anti-aging creams, makeup, other cosmetic type products that are going to open up their addressable market, and they're going to be a real competitor in all these spaces once they earn that trust of based off their core business. So this is really what I wanted to get to, and this is why I wanted to start doing these type of videos. I wanted to show potential and why I'm investing in this stock. So I came up with this idea of showing people, if they invested $100 and my bull case does pay off, what kind of returns we could potentially see. So if you had $100 and you invested into this stock at about $3.50, which is a market cap of $113 million, which is the current market cap, and then you use a company like ELF, which is another cosmetic growing cosmetic company, which has a current price to sales of 3, and then we take that price to sales, if the market actually gets to the $7.3 billion and they have a 25% market share, that gives them about $1.83 billion of revenue in 2025. And if this is considered a growth company like ELF is, you can 3 times that. That gives you 5.5. I did a conservative $5 billion market cap. And that brings the actual stock price to $155. If you used your $100 today, you would purchase 28 shares. Therefore, you would end up with $4,300 in potential gains in 2025 if everything works out. Obviously, that's extremely speculative, but it is a possibility. So this is kind of the way that I invest and the way that I look at things. I'm just trying to get this information out to people and make money the way that I make money, not the way other people make money. I hope this video was very helpful. If you did like it, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure if you have any other speculative stocks that you think I should look into, put them down in the comments, and I will definitely try to make a video on it if I can. Not all growth companies I believe in. There are stories that I believe in and there's stories that I don't believe in. And this company could be way bigger or it could go bankrupt, and understand that investing is risk. Again, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much. Peace.